Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday. Wake up indeed. It's the middle of the week. It's the middle of Holy Week, as a matter of fact. And so to all of you, we say good morning. How do you do? I was told there was a heavy downpour early this morning. That didn't happen by me. If it happened by you, how fortunate you are. I hope you realize that. As far as I'm concerned, we do need those cooling showers. So let's give God all the praise, all the glory. Indeed, with a big thank you for allowing our earth to breathe just a little bit through the showers. It helps the grass to grow, the trees to flourish, all of those things. So it's a great gift. Don't see it as an annoyance, please. To all of you who are watching here, there, and everywhere on our streams on YouTube, Facebook, and on our website, a very good morning to all of you as well. Thank you so much for waking up to keep us company. And we're happy always when we see you, we hear from you, you engage with us, and you engage between yourself. We actually quite love it. And so continue to do so. Most of all, share the show. Tell someone else about us and bring them along every morning. Increase the numbers every morning. That's what I want you to do. Bring a new friend every morning and introduce them to us as well. We're grateful for your activism where that's concerned. Always, if you have an idea or if you know of someone who's something we need to talk about, then you do send us an email, morninbarbados@cbc.bb, morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and we thank you for partnering with us and sharing the good news of who we are and what we do and what they do as well. So big thanks to everyone. Wednesday, the 16th of April, it is 2025. So what's your plan for today, everybody? What do you plan to do today? How do you plan to spend your time today using the opportunity given to you today to make a difference, and a difference that is good? How do you intend to do so? I want you to rest with that for just a moment. And as you're thinking of your answer, find a strategy to put it into action as well, because we are all here for good. And so I want you to remember that every single moment of this day and the next, that every day you have your plan to do good, and good will attend you as well. So the riddle of the day remains, oh, good morning, Vereen. Vereen, how do you do? She says, good morning to the crew. Thank you for engaging with us on our Facebook page as well. Thank you very much. To you too. Have a lovely today. Patricia Ben, as usual, is up and early. She's saying good morning to the sisters and brothers across the pond. The sisters and brother across this pond also say it back to you, Patricia Ben. Thank you. Kieran Oliver is also up early o'clock. She says, good morning, everyone, to the whole world. We say, from our end of the world, good morning to you, Kieran, as well. Have a great today. Rhonda Hines-Graham, Sweet Rons, good morning to you as well. A wonderful Wellness Wednesday. You getting the thing, girl. It is indeed Wellness Wednesday today. So we're going to be looking at a number of different things as relates to wellness, and we want to pay close attention. Auntie Faye in St. Peter, good morning to you as well. A lovely day as well. To all abroad, here, there, and literally everywhere, good morning to all of you as well. That outstanding riddle is still waiting for you to be resolved. I know a number of you are calling yesterday. You didn't get through, but I want you to call now on 228-5562 or 228-5563 to let me know how can you drop a raw egg from a height onto a concrete floor without cracking it. How can you possibly do that? Is it realistic? Yes, it is. Is it possible? Yes, it is. So I want you to tell me how that is. How can you drop a raw egg from a height onto a concrete floor without cracking it? I see brows furrowed in front of me. I see all sorts of things going on because the machinations of the brain are kicking in. And that's good. You've had your breakfast. Now it's time for you to get those brain powers working. How is it possible for you to drop a raw egg from a height onto a concrete floor without cracking it? How is that possible? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Of course, if you're calling from overseas, you know the area code 1246. 1246. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call now. Quick. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how do you do?
Not bad, thanks.
You're doing well. Don't use the word bad. You're doing well.
I said not bad.
I know, and I'm saying don't use the word bad. When you use the
Oh,
negatives,
sorry.
you that's what happens. So watch your words. So I'm doing well. That's what you say, right?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful to hear. Who's calling?
Cherry.
Kelly. And Kelly, where are you
Terry.
watching? Kerry.
Cherry.
All right. Where are you watching from?
Jamaica.
Of course it is. Have you figured out the answer yet?
Yes, please.
What's the answer?
It is impossible to break a concrete floor with an egg.
Why, the floor, I asked you, how can you drop a raw egg from a height onto a concrete floor without cracking it? And you went to the floor. I'm talking about an egg.
Yeah,
I'm talking about an egg.
I know.
So how can you drop a raw egg from a height onto a concrete floor without cracking it?
Without cracking the floor.
That's what you thought. But is it possible to drop an egg onto a concrete floor without cracking it?
I don't think so.
So then it must be the floor we're talking about. That's what you're thinking. And that's your final answer?
Yes, please.
Have you decided to study the UWI?
Pardon me.
Huh?
If I did what?
Have you considered studying at the UWI?
No, I haven't.
You've never considered that?
No.
Because you sound like a genius. You do, because you take a different point of view to everything else here, because I asked you about an egg and you told me about a floor. Hello? So Kerry, what should I tell you now?
But I'm correct.
All right. Kerry, you're correct.
I think it.
But you doubt me. You are absolutely right, though. You're absolutely right. It's about the floor. It wasn't about the egg. Well done, okay?
Okay.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, indeed. So she's right. She's all brothers, man. I wanted that to run just a little bit longer, but I shall have another one before the day is done. You better believe it. All right, so today, hopefully in a matter of minutes, we'll be talking to our pediatrician. We want to look at measles. It's in the news, particularly in the United States. We know what our child health system is in Barbados, but the potential for it to come to Barbados, if we're not careful, is very real. And so pediatrician, Dr. Gillian Birchall will join us in just a little while as we look at measles and what are the symptoms and what are the treatment options and so forth. So that's coming up in just a bit. Also, in just a moment, we'll meet a family or families with autism within the household. We want to hear their story, their journey, their successes as well. We share with you what's truly possible. It's a beautiful story with a beautiful little boy who will join us in just a moment as well. As I told you, it's Holy Week, and so the Easter traditions with which we've become so fondly connected, we want to continue sharing those traditions with you as well. So Kimberly has been up early. She's made her way to a fish market, because one of the things we tend to do at Easter is to eat a lot of fish. So is fish on your plate, and what are some of the best steaks, as Andre reminds me, possible from the fish market? So look out for that in just a little while from Kimberly. She's up and early, she's out and about. Volunteers are needed for Clean Up Barbados 2025. Some of the team leads will join us this morning about why they have decided to be a part of that Clean Up Barbados. Can't wait to hear from that. And when is it? Where is it? How can we be a part of it? So those questions hopefully we'll get answers to today. This morning you will meet a young man who carries a very strong name, but he's doing some wonderful things using his skills in theatre. Who he is, you need to stick around, because I'm excited to share him with you in just a little while as well. The Faculty of Medical Sciences continues this week to offer you the opportunities to taste, see, experience, and so this morning we'll continue talking up some of the other options available for you in study at the UWI. And Do It for St. Leonard's. That's an initiative put on by the alumni of St. Leonard's Boys. And when is it and where is it and what can we get from it as well? We will talk to you in just a little while about it as well. But let's get started this morning by meeting a beautiful family of people, because as you know, April is the month of autism awareness, and we continue to stand in support of it. We recognize the diversity, and so we want to celebrate it as well, and what's possible on the spectrum of autism. I was thinking Down syndrome for just a moment, autism. So next to me is Jade Adams. She's the mother of an autistic son. She's brought along her son as well, Zahir. Good morning, Zahir. How do you do?
I do baking.
You do big things? Like what?
I write and I sleep at night.
All right. Do you draw as well?
Yes.
What do you like to draw?
I like to draw. I like to draw things.
Things. So can you, like for instance, Zaire, he's looking at himself. Can you draw me? Over here, can you draw me? Is that possible? Oh boy, I wish I had a piece of paper and something to make you draw me. I would love to see what I look like through your eyes. How old are you?
5 years.
Oh boy, that's good. 5 years. What school do you go to?
I go to the no.
Kurdistan.
Urdistan? Aha. I know that's a big word, right?
Yes.
It is so sweet. And so what do you love, apart from drawing and those kinds of things, what else? What do you like to eat? Macaroni pie. No?
Donuts.
You don't like macaroni pie?
Donuts.
He's going to grow shy on me now. No. But good to meet you this morning, Zaire.
But we have no coloring.
You don't have anything to color with?
We have no food coloring.
Okay, no, have no food growing.
No,
I got
food coloring.
Oh, food coloring. You
Yeah.
can't eat food colorings?
We make donuts with food coloring to
Yeah.
make them to pink
Yes.
or black.
Which color do you like?
I like blue.
Blue! Me too!
Blue donuts.
You like blue
The
donuts?
blue donuts.
Yes.
I see. And
What about the cream?
We can
Yeah.
do green ones too.
you like that one too?
But the cream is supposed to be, we need to buy it because it's 100.
Yes, yes. Isn't he delightful, folks? Isn't he sweet? And that's what's possible. It's a spectrum. And so there are different abilities on that spectrum. Mommy, you must be so proud of him.
Yes, I am, to be quite honest. He was practicing from since he heard that he was coming on the show.
Really?
Yeah.
What was he doing?
Well, he was talking of the fact that he liked baking, and he was stating that he likes making muffins and donuts, and then he was talking about his favorite show and everything.
You know, we often think that autistic children are quiet and withdrawn and all the rest, but you don't have that quiet, withdrawn child.
No.
So what would cause you to think that your child possibly had something you need to look into?
Well, at first it was his speech delay. He wasn't speaking when he was supposed to. Also, the doctors were stating that he weren't reaching certain milestones that other children around his age should have reached. But because of his high energy, I didn't see it.
Yeah, he has a lot of energy.
Yeah. So once they told us so, that's when I took the steps for him to go to the psychiatrist and to go through CDC to be able to move forward from there. And that's when he was able to get the diagnosis. You're in the cave?
Oh, well done. Can I join you in your cave? No. Also with us this morning is Alicia
don't
King. You too are mother of an autistic
That's right,
child.
yeah.
How old is your child?
My son is 15 years
Oh,
old.
he's a teenager.
Yes, he is.
And that, I mean, and along those 15 years, what's the journey been like for you?
It's been a roller coaster of events because you get your diagnosis and then there's no other guidance from there. So then you have to, well, the most you got was therapist. So then you have to go through that and there's no other way for you to understand what you should be going or doing next. And then before you look at, you're trying this, you're trying that, and you're in therapies all along, which you do need. You need those therapies. And before you look at it, they're 15. So it's a toll on the body because they themselves, first and first, they themselves have to also get accustomed to what they have to do. They have sensitive hearing, whatever it is. So the child themselves also have to understand and deal with it.
Yes.
You see, because my son is nonverbal. He only started using, well, we learn him how you put, like A is for apple.
Right.
So you would tell him,
Phonics.
yeah, so we give him the phonics of it. And that's how he started to speak, by using the alphabet. So then when you talk to him, you will hear him say, N is for no. Yeah, he likes that one.
Yes,
N is for
yes.
no, and he will tell you now that you're angry. And mommy's cross.
Wow.
Those
Because
are the-
they're very, very perceptive. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And if you're not careful, you could find yourself exposed.
And open in public in
Yeah,
places
indeed.
that you don't want nobody know that you're cross.
But it's fun, isn't he?
Yeah, I can tell you for me, right? When you've accepted that diagnosis, because a lot of us as parents, he's 5 years old. At 5 years, you she probably done a lot, but for me, 10, 13 years ago, dealing with it internally, I dealt with it internally. So that's why I said you got the diagnosis. I'm the mother. I'm the one who carried the child. I have my handsome little baby in my hand, saying cat and stuff like that. And just like that, I'm hearing nothing.
Wow.
I'm getting the child just standing in the house and bawling, literally bawling. And I, as a parent, going to work and wondering, what is wrong with my son? Not understanding that he has sensitive hearing. Not understand that you're hearing a pin drop, but my son is actually hearing
Like thunder.
Yeah, so it is a little difficult for me as a mother of my only son. So that is where my beginning is, and then therapies, natural remedies. Believe you me, I've tried it. It's out there.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm on that.
Wow. So, but you kicked in, the maternal instinct you kicked in because you wanted to provide the best for your son.
Of course.
And that is what you continue to do. And I'm sure you're doing the same thing as well, Jade, looking for the best options for your son. Did you take the option of speech therapy and those kinds of things?
I had to. From the time they suggested it to me, I went through the government, tried to get through with it, had to get on some people's backs, because it took a lot to get off of the wait list, because not a lot of people know, but there's a lot of children that are on the spectrum. So the waiting list in Barbados is extremely long. So we had to basically push for him to get the therapies that he needs, and for him to get into the schools that he needs.
And so, Alicia, that's the purpose of the Autism Association of Barbados, to continue to agitate and advocate for assistance for your children as well. And so, from where you sit in the association, being a member of the association, how important is it for you to be a member of that association?
For me as a parent, it really helps you to have somebody that you can, like, I can look at her and I said, oh, okay, girl, I know your journey, and I'll be able to help her, because you need some people that are honest. No person that come and sugarcoat you. Come and say, listen, he's going to do this, but you can try this, because my son may not react the same way as hers. You understand? So you need to get some person that can say, do this, try this. If you, because as she said with the government, I didn't do my therapies really with the government, because we were waiting. The wait list at that time was about a year and some. And his father is the kind of person, from the time we got a diagnosis, this was his approach. So what do we have to do?
Nice.
So then from the time they said therapies, we went from 1, 2 to 3. We did all the necessary therapies to get him to be a little independent. And through the association, we were able to, for me, because I was in another group too, and they were more of the elite. But this group, now you're able to talk. I got people that I can call and laugh and talk with, that we understand when our children say one words that to we want. Like, see, sometimes you realize you couldn't understand what he was saying. But I understood, because all of us are in that arena, and we know when the children first start to talk, they don't pronounce those words clearly. So that is how we get to be. And then we sit down and watch our children do their own stuff, because they don't really, some display, you will see some going and interacting. And you will also see some of them, just like my son, now if he was here, you see how he's there doing that. My son would have probably got up and left already, because it is not, to him this is like, wait, mommy talking about me again?
Yes.
I mean, you want to talking about me?
Yes.
So he'd be like, and he'd be here putting his hand, he'd be doing everything under the sun to distract me, because he got so accustomed, or he get tired, to talking about him. But for me, the little female, even the male, the men in the group, and we get really whole fun time, and we go out with the children, for those who come out, because a lot of parents don't like to come out. They have transportation issues. I would love some person to donate some sort of bus, some sort of transportation to the association, that when any events we have, that we have those parents, because you see how she's been on the therapy. If my son father wasn't the go-getter, my son would be in that boat.
Right.
So it is all good and dandy. We need people to come help us, help all of these young ones. I need, for me, counseling for parents, for we. Don't come and say you gave my child. That was like a man come and put a gun in your head and say, do this or die. And we choose to fight. But we need somebody to help us mentally, and then guide us through this path. That's what we need. And then the association, that's what they're trying to get. Get some therapists to come and help them, some occupational therapists, we need a speech. We need speech. Speech is one of our biggest things. And then we need to come together and have our children socialize, because you know they don't check for socializing. I'm watching him. He's very interactive. He is a joy to be around.
Yes.
But as I gathering from all my information, you see, he probably is where his environment is
Stimulating in that way.
because my son, I talk to my son, I don't have to use no picture cards or nothing, because my son doesn't like it. But I can stand up and tell him, all right, give me 15 minutes and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and he's going to stop, listen, or he may do some stimming, but then he's also going to understand it, and then he would come back like to 15 minutes up or something like that.
So he's aware. He understands.
Well, he's a big boy. He's 15. Don't mind he doesn't be able to give you all of how he feels, because that's our job. We have to determine how they feel. We got to determine when they're hungry, if they're like, Mom, I love to eat. And you have to determine what they need. He may come home and tell you what goes on at school. I have no clue.
Yeah.
My son says, I can ask him every day, so how was school today? School is fine. And then I said, so what did your teacher do? And he calls her name. And I said, what did you color? I said, did you talk? Did you do addition? And I start asking questions. And then in the night, he would say, I did. Teacher name, because her name has to be mentioned. Even in the vacation, her name is pivotal for him.
Yes.
It's always and I'd be like, oh, so do you want to go? Yes, I want. Yes, let's go to, and he calls his school name.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
So teachers play a very important part.
They do. You mentioned the word skimming.
Stim.
What's stim? What is that?
Something to regulate themselves.
And so they have a mechanism that helps them regulate.
It's like a self-calming system that they do. So it could be from spinning in a circle to literally like touching themselves or hitting themselves to sometimes just making a certain noise over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to know that. And not say to be an
You're
annoyance.
doing it too, you know that. Oh, yeah. You do it too.
You're also doing
I
it
do it too.
I do stimming?
Yeah. Everyone stims.
Yourself, calming yourself, don't you?
Yeah, but I thought I do it just in my head.
Oh, no, you do it with your body too. Like, you see
Okay.
your feet there, you're moving it.
Okay.
And then,
all right.
Tapping your foot. Yeah.
See, when you're tapping.
This is not about me.
No, I'm just letting you know that even though we have a diagnosis with a
Yes.
nice spectrum on us, it shows in all of us. Some people do their hair, so yeah.
Zahir can also do his own breakfast items and that kind of thing?
Yes, he
Because we're
does.
seeing it on the screen right now.
Yeah, he does his eggs
Zahir,
on the
look,
morning
Zahir,
time.
look,
You're on the
look at
TV.
you. You see it? What are you making?
I was making.
Eggs? Or was it pancakes?
It was eggs.
All right, was it delicious?
Yes.
Oh boy, now you're making me hungry. But you know, he's functional.
Yes.
Because he's fortunate, I use the word fortunate, to be on that level of the spectrum where care of him does not require a lot of hands-on necessarily, or does it?
It actually does though, but how I am trying to get him, more self-aware, a bit more independent. So like if he tells me, I want Mobby or something, I will tell him, okay, come with me and you will see me make it. And then the next time we do it, he will ask me if he can make it. And so I would guide him, and then it goes on to a point now that he's able to do it himself. Sometimes I would see him in the kitchen just getting stuff, and I would freak out until I realize that he's actually getting his stuff for him to make whatever it is that he would like.
Lovely. Listen, folks, you heard the appeal from Alicia. They need our help. And so when you see the tables in the malls, it's the pathway of the malls, just don't walk on by, spend time. As I bought the pin, I bought this. There's some other gadgets that my godchildren have also purchased, and we make a donation as well. And remember, coming up on the 28th is that big walk and run, and your donation as an adult of $35 and for the child $25, that money goes a long way into alleviating some of the concerns concerns that these parents have, parents of children with autism, and the children will also benefit from it as well. So I want you to really, 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 really give your support to this activity on the 28th. It starts at 7 o'clock from the National Disabilities Unit on Cullimore Rock. That's where we will all assemble, and you go at your space. Spinny will be there to help you calm down yourself down at the end with this cultural cardio session from 8:30 when we hopefully everybody's back, and that all happens at the National Disabilities Unit on Cullimore Rock on the 28th of April. So do not waste your Heroes Day just lying down. Make a great start to your Heroes Day on the 28th at 7 o'clock to assemble, and in assembling, take the walk and the run and make your donation. $35 adults, $25 children for the shirt. Your shirt is your support of it indeed, your wearing of your shirt. And of course you can contact the association. The numbers are there on your screen. You can call them on 233-6221, 233-6221, or you can send an email to autisminbarbados@gmail.com. Your support is appreciated. Thank you so very much, ladies. And thank you.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I just love it.
Shells.
May I have it? Oh, thank you.
These are shells.
Do you want them back? Okay, there you go. Well, oops, I dropped one. All right. Jade Adams is the mother of Zahir Adams, and Alicia King is also a parent managing her 15-year-old with autism as well. But these ladies have just proven how we can still have beautiful lives and beautiful experiences with this young man and other children as well. So it's not all gloom and doom. Parents, join the association, the Autism Association of Barbados. In joining and coming together, you get support. But we are all required, all of us as a society, to lend our support to them in tangible ways by attending and giving donations to the association. So thank you all, and good to meet you all. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for having
You're
us
very
here.
welcome. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
28 minutes after 6 o'clock. Isn't he delightful? Little Zaire Adams. Boy, he is he's still a ball of energy walking out of the studio, still talking, as little boys would, and engaging with all others who are waiting. Can you hear him? Can you hear his voice still? His little beautiful voice in the studio. It is for him, his mother, such a blessing that he's able to have her company and to be able to engage her in conversation. All right, Easter is almost upon us. Sunday is coming, and so Good Friday, we tend to eat fish, don't we? So who's going to the market today? Kimberly has. Kimberly, where art thou? And good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. It's a bright sunny morning. I can feel the warmth and yet the breezes. You know, April tends to do that for
Yes.
you. And at this time of the year, as we gear up towards Good Friday and then of course Easter Sunday and the bank holiday, fish is on the list. That is on the to-do list in terms of our dishes. So best place to be right about now would be your neighborhood fish market. And in our neighborhood, we are at the Belinda Cox Fish Market located in Oistins. This is a good time for us to get a glimpse of all that is happening. Of course, the usual early morning preparation where they make sure that they wash down their stations and they get things ready. But if we can, I want to take an opportunity to move in a little bit closer and find out exactly what the catch is. I know there's always a catch of the day, but the catch of the day when we get to the fish market has to do with which is most popular? What is the biggest fish that is the favorite right about now among our many Barbadian consumers? So I'm going to take a moment.
And she took a moment. She's taken a moment indeed. As technology is. And so Kimberly's in the fish market there, the Bermuda Cots Fish Market in Oistins. You can see in her background that many of the fisher folk have not yet taken up their stalls. But listen, don't wait until too late here, because fish is going to be on sale. And so we want to encourage you to head into the fish markets and keep that tradition alive. Enjoy your fish. It's good for you, the omega whatever. And so, that's good for your brain, it's good for your development, it's good for your bones, it's good for everything. And so I believe she's taken her moment. And let's see if following that moment she can continue sharing with us the catch of the day. Back to you, Kim.
Yes, Pearson. Well, I'm going to try to see if I can get over here, because we're still doing a lot of cleaning. It's early in the morning, but there's a lady a gentleman. We're going to go to the gentleman further on down. This is another lady, because I'm trying to make sure that I get things right. Now, while we're here, good morning. Good morning. Now we have a whole lot of workstations set up, but I'd like to find out exactly what the catch of the day is. It's still really early in the morning, but for those who are trying to get themselves ready for Good Friday, the best thing that you can do is come on down to the Bermuda Cots Fish Market right here in Oistins, or your nearest market, and find out a little bit more about the popular fish that usually is on hand. There's often marlin. Marlin is a fish that's pretty popular at this time of the year. In fact, you can find marlin on a menu any time of the year, but most Bajans like a good old-fashioned steak fish, a kingfish perhaps. And if you're looking at getting something that is slightly different, maybe a moonfish. But it's still early days yet, and I'm hoping that we would really get a chance to chat with someone who's available to tell us a little bit about what the catch has been thus far. Our fishermen, they go out and they make good on their catch by bringing them in, and the more that they get, now the better that price is for us. So Pearson, I hope that you've already got some sort of fish dish in mind. I know you like everything next to macaroni pie. I will not blame you on that part, but I hope that you've got a favorite fish to put next to that macaroni pie.
I hope they have flying fish, because that's my favorite fish right away off the bat.
Oh, you want premium?
Yes, I know it's premium, and because it's premium, I want the premium, yes. But there's so much you can do with flying fish, whether you do it in your soups, but I like mine stretched out and fried without the head. And like you tend to say, you don't want anybody looking back at you.
I don't want it looking back at me, but I have a relative that she likes it the old-fashioned way. Bend the head back to the fin, and somehow make that, basically put it together. Yes. I don't know how they do it, because as I said, I don't like to see my fish looking at me. But if I'm having flying fish fried to a crisp, I like it just as it is, or between a freshly baked salt bread. Oh. Outside of that, I'll be having mine with some cornmeal cuckoo. That is how I like it. I know you want macaroni pie, right?
Correct. You got that right.
Now, I see a nice lady here. Good morning. How you doing?
Very good.
I want to find out a little bit about the favorite fish choices, especially now we're coming up to Good Friday.
Marlin.
Mm-hmm. I got that one right.
Yes. Swordfish.
Mm-hmm.
Flying fish, dolphin.
You got flying fish?
Yes.
We have a very hungry person, Bowen, in studio that wants some fried flying fish.
You come to Oistins and get some.
You hear that, Pearson? They've got your flying fish ready for you.
Yes. Hazen or filet?
No, he wants it filleted. So do I.
Yes. You could get them. $40 a pack.
Ah.
Can't go wrong.
$40 a pack, yeah? So How about the marlin and the swordfish? How are those sales been going?
Good. Yeah, sales on them are good. But the marlin is the number one seller in the market.
I know. That's something that people call for all throughout the year.
Yeah.
Do you find that at this time of the year, the sale of the marlin and the swordfish tends to go up?
Yes. Yeah, it go up.
What about the flying fish? Are people calling for flying fish for Good Friday?
No, not as plentiful before because the price is a little steep at this time.
But that means there's more for Pearson.
Yes. You could get a boatload.
You hear that?
But I have a couple boats that can be on the way here, so you can get any amount you want now today.
Fantastic. It's a pleasure chatting with you. Now, if we want to come down and get some fish, who do we ask for?
Lisa. Come and ask for Lisa or Sharon.
Excellent. Lisa and Sharon, they're doing their thing. And of course, while we are here at Belinda Cox Fish Market, I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to start looking for my swordfish to go at the side of my cornmeal or green banana cuckoo. Yes, I kind of rootsy. Pearson, you still having that macaroni pie?
I am still having my macaroni pie. I'll have a bit of rice to the side as well. You know me. I keep it dry. And then, you know, my flying fish, I need a pack. And do not come back here with empty hands, Kimberly.
Very well, sir. We'll make sure to add to your menu.
But
wishing everyone, of course, a happy Eastertide and a reflective Good Friday. But we'll be back on the outside again soon.
Kimberly, though, before you go, what is your menu for Good Friday?
I gave you a hint. It's going to either be cornmeal cuckoo with some steamed fish. Chances are it's going to be that swordfish, or it's going to be well, not green banana, breadfruit cuckoo, because I got a breadfruit that has my name on it.
The breadfruit known as Kimberly.
So we getting some good home food, some good brown provisions.
Yeah, you're stew
You're
food.
welcome to partake.
Well, no, you can enjoy it for me. Let me know how it tasted and went. And I hope you enjoyed it. But have a wonderful Easter weekend, Kimberly. Thank you for being in the market for us. But as I said, do not come back here empty-handed. I'll see you at the end of the show.
Thanks, Pearson. Have a good one.
Likewise, Kimberly, indeed. Kimberly's in the market. Where are you going today, everybody? Which market are you going to? And what is your fish of choice? What is it? Is it kingfish, as Kimberly tends to like? I like flying fish. You like marlin? Really? Dolphin? Nobody talks about dolphin anymore? Or should we say mahi-mahi? For those of you who want to be a little bit more exotic. You know, what's your fish of choice today? Write it on our Facebook page and let me know so that we can talk it up. So do engage with us in that kind of way as well. All right, okay, good. Folks, it's Easter weekend. It's not Christmas, and she didn't bring any pastels, but that's all right. Dr. Gillian Birchwood, as I keep telling you, is the world's greatest pediatrician. I claim it and I state it. And so you shall be.
It.
Good girl. And so we continue with this Easter weekend as we get ready for Easter as well, to remind us of one of those contagions, really, that's blowing up in the United States. And we have to be very careful because, you know, us and travel.
Yes.
We're talking measles here.
Yes.
So Dr. Birchwood, good morning, first of all.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see you again. Happy Easter.
Same to you.
What is your meal for Easter, Good Friday, generally?
I love flying fish. So you and I are going to be in a competition.
Yes, sister.
Down at the fish market.
Get there first, eh? So, measles. What are measles?
Measles is a condition that's caused by a virus, and it's incredibly contagious. A lot of people just think of measles as a little fever and a little rash and no big deal. But measles is actually a very deadly disease, and as you mentioned, there have been outbreaks and epidemics in the United States. And I want people to really be informed about what measles is so that they are not lulled into a false sense of complacency, because it is genuinely a deadly disease.
So, but every fever and every rash is not necessarily measles. So how do I know that this fever and rash is measles?
Yes. So measles has a very characteristic pattern in the way that it develops. At first, you might think that a child with measles just has the flu, because it starts off with the symptoms of a cough, a cold, a runny nose, and characteristically you can get what looks like pink eye, so red eyes, or conjunctivitis is a characteristic feature of measles. However, during that period of time, you may develop spots in the mouth, which are called complex spots, and those you can see on the wet surfaces on the side of the mouth, which we call the buccal mucosa. And those are bluish, whitish spots that are present. You might not even be aware that they are there. So if you go to the doctor and they examine you during that phase and they look in your mouth and you see those characteristic spots, they'll know you are in the early stages of the symptomatic phase of measles. Subsequent to that, the complex spots may disappear after a couple of days, and then the rash emerges. And when the rash emerges, you get a very high fever, up to 40 degrees Celsius. And that's one of the characteristic things about measles. So the rash develops around the ears and along the hairline and on the face first, and you think as a parent, okay, but then it actually spreads quite dramatically from your head to your toes. And after a couple of days after the rash appears, it starts to almost stick together. So you get a very dramatic rash, which eventually heals and dries. But the high fever, the red eyes, the complex spots, and that very typical rash is how you're going to distinguish measles. And it has unfortunately made a resurgence. People who have not seen it may not recognize it for what it is.
And I'm glad you said it, because I kept thinking, measles, what does it look like again? Because growing up,
Yes.
I'm much older than you. You would have seen and heard the stories. And then I lost track of it because we've managed it so well in Barbados.
Yes.
And here it is yet again. So, but the bit that you talked about in the jaw,
Yes.
that must have been so painful for children.
So it's uncomfortable, but sometimes you may not even be aware, because when you have very young children, they're not necessarily going to let you know what's happening. You might know that they're uncomfortable. And so it would require that you get a proper physical examination, and you would know something is up, because the child tends to be quite miserable when they have measles. I had it as a child. This was before the measles vaccination was invented. And so I remember my mother talking about how my sister and myself had very, very high fevers. And we had to be sequestered from the rest of the family. There's 6 children, so it would have been very hard to do.
Yes. But how is it spread? Because you had to be sequestered, so how is it spread?
So all that coughing and sneezing, that's how measles is spread. And as I mentioned earlier, it's incredibly contagious. So if someone is coughing and sneezing, 90% of the people around them who are not immune, in other words, did not have the vaccine or have measles in the past, 90% of exposed people will contract measles. And that's compared to COVID, where only about 30% of people will contract COVID if you cough and sneeze around them. So measles is known as one of the most highly contagious viruses and diseases in the world.
So what do we do now, given travel as it is, and these things tend to move across the water very easily?
Yes.
What do we do now so that we are preventing the spread of measles in Barbados?
Well, it's very important for parents to ensure that their children have 2 vaccinations of measles. Unfortunately, throughout the Caribbean, and I think Barbados is no exception, the vaccination rate for measles is not high enough. We are at risk for developing an outbreak throughout the Caribbean. So the vaccinations for measles are given at 12 months and again at 18 months. The vaccination is very effective. Up to 95% of people who have the vaccine will be immune, and it protects you for a lifetime. So it's a very effective vaccine. But we need about 95% of our population to be immune to prevent the spread of measles.
As an adult, if I did not have my vaccines, what can I do now?
If you've had measles already, you're safe. However, if you have not contracted measles, you should go straight to the nearest polyclinic and confess your sins and get vaccinated.
I love it. Confess your sins, everybody. Thou hast sinned. So get your vaccinations as soon as possible, because it is a good barrier against the spread of measles.
Yes.
You still have me laughing inside. So knowing that measles exist, and knowing that we ourselves might be safe, but our children are not, it's important that parents don't take this for granted, because we become so anti-vaxxers that we have now begun to question everything. But we do know of the efficacy of the vaccine. And so if you don't know, parents, don't act in ignorance. Research it just a little bit so you understand how it works indeed. And I mean, by many examples, we are still alive because of those vaccinations a little earlier on in our life. So pay attention to this. So the child who has the measles, therefore, the fever, the rash,
The red
irritability,
eyes.
the red eyes, and because of that fever, if you don't arrest the fever, what could happen?
If you have an extremely high fever like that, children who are susceptible can develop seizures related to the fever. And that particularly high fever can be associated with fever seizures. Those themselves are harmless, but they look completely terrifying to parents. One of the things I really want to talk about is the complications of measles, because I think a lot of people don't understand how severe a disease it is and why people can die from it. So measles can cause a pneumonia, which is the main reason why children who die after they've contracted measles, the main condition they have is pneumonia. But it can also cause encephalitis, which is an infection in the brain, and that can leave children with permanent intellectual disability. It can also cause, in addition to the short-term complications, it can cause long-term complications. It can cause complications in pregnancy. Women who contract it in pregnancy can end up delivering their baby prematurely, or their baby might end up being delivered low birth weight. Measles can also cause a high rate of hospitalization. So about 20% of people who do contract measles can be end up being hospitalized, one of the reasons that we talked about. And of course, death is a definite possibility from contracting it early. But after you think you've recovered from measles, measles is not done taking its last victim yet. Because measles can cause long-term complications, which is another aspect that I want people to be aware of. One of the long-term complications it can cause is immune amnesia. So that sounds scary, and it is. So what measles does when it enters the body, it actually attacks the cells in our body that store a memory of all the illnesses we've ever had. It kills all those cells. So your entire immune system undergoes a complete reset. It's like if you take a computer hard drive that you've had for years and you wipe it. And so your body, the only thing your body is immune to after you've had measles is measles. Everything else you are susceptible to. And so after people have had measles in a country, there's an increase in the mortality rate in children because they get all those diseases all over again. It's a really dangerous disease to have.
So revaccinate?
You would have to get vaccinated. If you had the COVID vaccination, you have to have it again. All those vaccinations you've had as a child, worthless, because all the immune memory has been wiped away. And so every country that has measles has a spike in the childhood mortality rate several years after.
So we definitely need to take this quite seriously.
Yes.
And not assume, oh, it's something you just put the lotion on and it takes care of the rashes. I bring down your temperature because I bathe you in cold water, all of those kinds of things. And confess your sins. Go have the vaccinations as soon as possible. I just love that phrase. Thank you for that. But thank you, Dr. Birchwood, as well. We got to wrap there, but it is such a big subject, you know, that folks, I hope that you've listened well and that you've learned. And in learning, you do the right thing for yourself and for your child. It's extremely contagious, but you also, there are things that you can do to protect yourself and all of us from it as well. So vaccination, vaccination, vaccination. And I'm not a medical doctor. That's it. Thank you so much, Dr. Birchwood.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Clean Up Barbados 2025, as you know, is an initiative of the Future Centre Trust, and so we can't wait to be a part of it. As you know, we've seen the outcome, what it means for the island when we keep a clean and healthy island. We just talked about measles, and so it's important that all of us pay close attention on this Wellness Wednesday to how our surroundings are also kept clean. Joining us to talk a little bit more about this year's Clean Up Barbados is the director of the Future Centre Trust, Miss Stacey Alvarez. Good morning, Stacey.
Morning.
What do you do today? You're green.
Oh, thank you. Exactly.
That's the point, right?
Yes, exactly.
And you've brought along with you Ralph Luther. Ralph, you are also part of the Future Centre Trust, but you're lead on the Barbados Tradeway project as well, which is going to be critical to how we proceed with the cleanup, one of the leads to do so. So, Ms. Alvarez, let's start with you.
Sure.
And why is it important, again, that Barbadians join with the Future Centre Trust in this Clean Up Barbados?
I think it's really important because one of the great things about Clean Up Barbados, what sets us apart, is that we do beyond just, say, the beach cleanup, which is important, but we bring communities together. You come inland, you clean crucial ecosystems and infrastructures like the gullies, and we really push to ensure that there's a community spirit. So I want to give a big shout out to our group leaders who they register on the part of, say, it could be your church, it could be a bigger group, and we also provide great infrastructure for this. So, beyond just the gloves and the bag, we have other kinds of equipment that might be necessary, things that will really make you feel safe, and any areas that we clean have usually been pre-vetted to ensure that yes, they're safe. They're not in any way hazardous. So registrations are open. So I'd like to encourage everybody to go to futurecentertrust.org, and you can click on the Clean Up Barbados registration site and begin to register and make your presence felt.
All right, so Future Centre Trust Barbados.
futurecentertrust.org.
Or futurecentertrust.org is where you go. Click on that link, Clean Up Barbados, and register. And registration is free.
Yes, registration is completely free. And I want to say that it's been really great to see how communities come together. It's absolutely fantastic. I want to give a big thanks to Nation Publishing's Green Team, who we partner with, and Virgo Communications. They do an amazing job with our website to make sure that registration goes smoothly. And of course, thanks to you all here at Mornin Barbados for fighting the good fight along with us.
When is it?
The actual day is June 7th, which is a Saturday.
Right.
And it goes through, it's all day. Some people start from very early, and then some of us who are, again, the group leaders who do a fantastic job to coordinate who's doing what and to make sure things are weighed and categorized.
Right, so you see it on your screen, folks. Clean Up Barbados is the 7th of June. Don't miss out. Register now to participate using the forms at futurecentertrust.org, and then you click on that tab, Clean Up Barbados, and you're good to go. Register in groups, or you can register as an individual. It doesn't matter. But if you have an interest in ensuring that Barbados remains clean, and you see all around you and you just wish you could do something about it, now you can. Join with others on the 7th of June to clean up Barbados indeed. And so, Ralph, from where you sit as the Railway Project of Barbados, has your team been a part of the Clean Up Barbados over the years?
Yes, so we were I started volunteering for the Future Trust and took on the Railway Project about 5 or 6 years ago. And at the time, just before the pandemic, beach cleanups were becoming very popular, several organizations. So we decided, why don't we move it inland? And as the Trailway was one of the Future Centre Trust projects, that's where we started. It's now expanded into the neighboring communities. And what I would like to say is one of the effects is that once we've cleaned up a certain area, it takes a lot longer for the garbage to come back. There are some famous dumping spots where people will continue dumping, but generally people who live in the area, especially if they've been part of the cleanup team, they will look after it. So that's one of the legacies and the sustainability effects.
And that's good. In terms
important.
of rallying people to join you in this initiative, how easy or difficult was it?
So again, we're trying to highlight the benefits, and my background is really in the running and hiking. So we have organizations like the Barbados Hiking Association, the Barbados Hash House Harriers. I have a running group called the Mountain Goats, and we actually go off-road and see where the dumping happens, because a lot of the cart roads and trails that we use for our activities is where people dump and they throw out garbage. And I've been here 26 years, and I've seen the amount of garbage go up and down depending on the initiatives and awareness among the population. There's different incentives that will make it easier for people to dump or litter, and then there are other mechanisms that generally help reduce that. So I've seen that over the years, and I've found Clean Up Barbados to be a very, very effective one.
And so, Alicia, you know, this is so important, Ms. Alvarez. This is so critical indeed. And so we want to encourage people to register as soon as possible. Having cleaned up, the thing that I hate to see are bags of garbage left.
Yeah.
What's the plan in terms of removal of all of that from the site?
Well, we have amazing corporate sponsorship, and we have skips at the site at particular parts where there's going to be larger concentrations of garbage, and all of those bags are put into skips and then removed on the day. So we make sure that it's not something that will just stay and become more unsightly, because as you very rightly say, one thing is to collect the garbage, but there's also to make sure, you know, you have to make sure that this is managed well. So we definitely make sure that we have that, and we have to say a huge thanks to our corporate sponsor as well for that.
I really hope that you're so inundated with the number of people registering that you're lost for gloves, you're lost for shovels, you're lost for everything. But if anyone watching today, any of those corporate entities watching who want to partner with you still, how can they reach out the same way?
They can reach out the same way. They can go on the website and they can register their interest and get in touch, and we're here. We're here. We won't say no to any help. And any ways that we can rally communities, we're definitely up for it.
Is this all over the island, or is it centered around certain areas? Or can I also choose where I want to clean up?
Yes, you can. If you're a smaller group and you want to say focus on your neighborhood, you know, I have my mum who is elderly and she might just want to do like in our gap and around there, that's perfectly acceptable as well. We definitely will not say no. And sometimes it's those small efforts that have the ripple effect and set the example. And it, you know, it creates that groundswell of action that lasts beyond just the day, because clearly our aim is to change the behavior that leads to the dumping. So, and I will say, once you've been literally and figuratively immersed in a gully and you're dealing with that garbage, you make that mental note to yourself, how can I seek to recycle? How can I seek to manage my household waste? So yeah.
How do you track it? Because if I am in St. Lucie, who's tracking my activity there? Do you come and inspect?
We have group leaders who go around, and then as a group leader, sometimes we're more mobile and we go around to different groups. So it's really a day of adventure to be part of Clean Up Barbados for sure.
It's so rewarding indeed, folks. You are making a strong difference to your community in a very real, tangible, visible way. And so if you love Barbados, this is important. If you love your community, this is important. If you want to stay safe and clean, this is important. Remember, Clean Up Barbados is on the 7th of June. You go to futurecentertrust.org and you click on the tab that says Clean Up Barbados 2025 and you're good. You register. Registration is so simple you won't begin to imagine. We're not asking you for any money. We're just asking you for your time and your energy and your commitment to ensuring that we clean up Barbados. This is where we live and this is our neighborhood. No one likes to look out of their window and see piles of garbage anywhere and know that you can do something about it. So if you're scared because you don't want to appear alone, don't be alone now. On the 7th of June, you are joining with thousands of Barbadians to do so. If it's an organization and that's part of your mandate to make a difference to Barbados as well, you too can register, get involved. Register at that same website, futurecentertrust.org. State what your organization can do. Rally your teams together. This could be a very interesting team building exercise. I'm very, very serious to see who can do the most. Almost, and reward them for doing so because they're doing a good thing. And so, Ralph, I'm sure that's what you're interested in doing too.
So I just wanted to mention, you did say it doesn't cost any cash. If anybody is not here because they're on vacation, or some of your overseas viewers, and they still feel like this is a good cause and they might want to help, the Future Center Trust takes a very holistic approach, and we do have a third major project, which is Donation Nation. So obviously, one thing is Clean Up Barbados, where we're cleaning up things, but if we can avoid the garbage in the first place, and that even includes properly disposed garbage into the landfill. So Donation Nation is essentially a second-hand thrift store. So anybody who has stuff that they would consider getting rid of, take it there if it's in a usable, resellable conditions, and that generates funds. And some of these funds will pay for activities like Clean Up Barbados. They will pay for the trailway. Of course, there can be monetary donations through the website also, so if somebody feels strongly about wanting to help with this, but they're unavailable for whatever reason on that day to help, those opportunities also exist, and every cent will benefit Barbados and the sustainable living in Barbados.
Well said. And so, folks, 7th of June, we remind you as the 7th of June approaches that you should register. But do your registration today so you don't have to remember. Do it today or do it right now. As a matter of fact, time is your time. So just register by the website futurecentertrust.org, clean up Barbados tab, and fill in your registration form and just wait. And as you wait, just get yourself ready mentally and physically, because we are cleaning up Barbados. We're cleaning up our home, and we're making our home hospitable, not just for ourselves, but for those who visit us as well. So you want to get involved? Register now to participate. Lend your support indeed. Stacey Alvarez, Future Center Trust Director, thank you so much for joining us. Ralph as well, who's working with the Future Center Trust. I wish you well. Of course, we shall remind them.
Thank you.
You better believe it, we shall remind them.
Thanks so
Now
much.
we have a bullet point that we need to remind people of. And I hope registration is so overwhelming, as I told you, that you're struggling for more. And so corporate entities give more so that we can do more as well. And if you want to give cash, go to futurecentertrust.org or to make them Donation Nation, and you can be a part of it all. Join the initiative. Participate. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories, and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 2 minutes after 7. Let's take a look at the news now. Barbadians will now be privy to the contribution of black Barbadian women in the island's first fight against slavery. The series, titled Unsung Heroines, Black Women in Resistance in Barbados, is a 7-part series that will be broadcast every 2 weeks and forms part of the season of emancipation. Some of the Barbadian heroines to be featured include national hero, the Right Excellent Sarah Ann Gill and Nanny Gregg, as well as those who are not widely known, but who also made a contribution to the Barbadian landscape. That initiative is a collaboration between the Division of Culture in the Prime Minister's Office and the Institute for Gender and Development Studies. Researcher Natasha Bino, who works to support the production, says history reminds that we stand on the shoulders of giants and that modern-day Barbados is deeply intertwined with the struggles and triumphs of those who came before us.
Begin here to dwell in the domestic, the everyday, the unremarkable, and to connect histories that we are told are so far in the past as to be best left forgotten to our lives today. I juxtapose the stories one woman told about herself against what can be retrieved amidst the silences and violences of the archive, concerned more with profit and not the interiority of Black women, enslaved or freed, their desires, motivations, and dreams.
Well, head of the lecturer of the Institute for Gender and Development Studies in the Nitabaro unit, Dr. Tonya Haynes, highlighted the work being undertaken by the UAE's History Department, Today in Bajan History, and the book being the same title, as vital public scholarship which brings knowledge and awareness to the history of the nation. The Caribbean Examinations Council is undergoing a digital transformation to reposition the regional examination body for greater regional impact. To do so, they'll be introducing generative artificial intelligence as one of the new measures in allowing candidates to undertake examinations, as well as the introduction of the new Caribbean Targeted Education Certification. Rachel Agard reports.
Effective January 2026, all exams administered in the January sitting will be offered electronically, either as e-assessment or hybrid e-assessment. This was revealed by Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the Caribbean Examinations Council, Dr. Wayne Wesley. This decision was taken following heightened concerns about security over breaches in CXC exams in 2022 and 2023.
In situations where candidates are unable to write the examinations electronically, they will be accommodated in the May-June sessions, where both paper-based and e-assessment will be administered. Strategic repositioning of CXC marks the beginning of our transformation effort, and I want to say at this time that this is the beginning of the end of the Caribbean Examinations Council as you know it, as we transform for greater regional impact.
Dr. Wesley also notes that as an introduction to reimagining assessment and certification, a new qualification will be introduced in the subjects of mathematics and English beginning September 2025. The new Caribbean Targeted Education Certification, CTEC, will be CXC's micro-credential and will be subject and skills-based, while offering a lot more flexibility to the learner in 3 modules.
The modularization of English and mathematics will be done across 3 modules, and each module will be assessed independently, and the combination of those 3 modules will provide for the award of the full certification. So for example, in mathematics, CTEC award module 1 will be achieved by a student at any point throughout their study. 2, 3, and all of that come together to give it a full FESEC mathematics qualification.
During the press conference, it was revealed that data collected by CXC last December showed that nearly 70% of member states do not have a formal AI policy or framework in place. However, it was stressed for the region to benefit, there needs to be harmonious development utilizing technologies across the board. Antigua is the first country to sign a memorandum of understanding to work collaboratively with CXC to implement this change. And Director of Operations, Dr. Nicole Manning, says ethical use of AI and academic integrity will be high on the list, effectively for use with the 2026 CXC SBA submissions.
We're particularly looking at what happens in terms of the candidates even citing the referencing in their SBAs and everything that they do, the actual use of AI. It's important that we understand that it would not be business as usual, because with AI, you cannot allow a candidate just a question, they go home, and they can actually just provide a response from AI. Let's understand that it is going to require higher order thinking.
CXC will host a virtual town hall meeting for this year's candidates and their parents on April 24th, beginning at 5 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Well, the city streets came alive yesterday afternoon as members of the Barbados Fire Service marched to the sound of their own beat. Along the route stretching from the first fire station at Coleridge Street to the last at Probin Street, they highlighted some of the island's biggest fires. Some of those included the Barbados Hardware, Colonial, Colonnade Mall, Cave Shepherd, Fogarty and Modern Living fires. Divisional Officer Marlon Small told CBC News that it forms part of the service's ongoing 70th anniversary celebrations, and the troops were inspected at Probin Street by Chief Fire Officer Aaron Maynard before gathering for church service at the Bethel Methodist Church.
This evening parade will see 2 detachments from the Barbados Fire Service, one being the actual Barbados Fire Service, and the second detachment, the Barbados Fire Service Fire Cadet Program. We will be ably tuned to the 7-day Adventist Pathfinders. Preparations for the 70th anniversary are ongoing. We have things happening along the year, and therefore we urge all Barbadians to stay tuned to Mornin Barbados and other news outlets, including the Barbados Fire Service sources page, to get additional information about some of the activities that they can weigh in on.
Thank you for that. Well, meanwhile, assistant band leader with the Barbados Pathfinders Band, Yvette Greenwich, says they were happy to lend assistance on such an auspicious occasion.
As a youth group, we always make sure we actually provide community service, whether it is at any occasion. So today is specifically working towards providing our musical talent and service towards the Barbados Fire Service on their momentous occasion. And this is something that we continually do as a youth group.
To sports now, a lethal bowling performance by Barbados set a stage for a comfortable 9-wicket win over Jamaica in the opening match of the CWI Rising Stars Under-15 Championship yesterday. Playing at the Liberty Sports Club in Antigua, Jamaica Under-15s, after being sent into bat, were skittled out for a paltry 77 in 24.5 overs. That included 13 extras. Asher Brandford snapped 4 for 20, Joshua Thompson 3 for 14, and Jahidi Hines 3 for 16. Luwain Price top scored with 22. In reply, Barbados eased to the target of 78 in 17.5 overs for a loss of 1 wicket. Javian Batson scored 22, while Jahidi Hines was left unbeaten on 28, and the captain Justin Paris not out on 11.
Swan is on the legs and flicked away out to the backward square boundary for 4. New over starts and he's driving outside the line of the off stump and he's caught behind. Right, here we watch. As he's bowled him! Cleaned him up completely.
Our coach Abdiel Hughes.
He's pulling a short delivery. It's high up in the air over the mid-wicket region and it's 6 runs. No slip in place. Here is he pulling this one in the air out to that square leg fielder that I just spoke about. He takes the catch. Driving out caught at that extra cover region. Some of the rules says, not to bowl. Here is he pulling. This one is in the air. Wicketkeeper takes the catch.
It remains to be seen.
Here is he bowled.
ODI cricket is.
Here is a loud appeal. Is out. Leg before.
So far in the over.
Yorker length delivery. Here's a loud appeal and he's giving him leg before. Here is this one hit up in the air and the catch is taken. So the innings comes to an end. Jamaica, they are all out for 76. Here's Plummer. And this one is cut away. He's going to get runs here, gets 4. Good shot. Here is this delivery driven beautifully. 4. Is this one whipped away into the mid-wicket region, should get a boundary and does. That's 4 runs.
And I can only get 1 batting. So
is he punching this one through the offside? Should be 4. Hits the boundary now, 4 runs. The light continues. Here is he striking the batsman on the pad and he's giving him leg before. And Paris is driving beautifully for 4. Ooh, that looked nice. Barbados team coming away with a comprehensive 9-wicket victory.
Well, that's the news until now right here on TV8. We'll have more news coming up at 12 noon. Mornin Barbados comes back with a star in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share some.
The Ministry of Youth Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
60 minutes now after 7 o'clock on Morning Barbados. This for me is a very special moment, ladies and gentlemen. I want to introduce you now to who I think is a star already. And so you should look out for his name on marquees everywhere because he is really, really good. And this is my nephew, John Michael Bowen. John Michael, good morning to you.
Good morning, Uncle Pearson.
Doing well? Are you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well too. It is so good to see you have grown, and you've grown well, and you continue to do well what you do. I know you don't like to hear my accolades, but I keep showering them on you all the time because I'm so immensely proud of you. You started out as this little boy, I recall, at the St. Albans Primary School. Remember that? And I came to your graduation.
Yes,
and I was the one who was busy up and down with the camera filming John Michael going to receive all of his prizes. You were the top boy at your school. And then you went on then to Queen's College. And while there, I kept asking, well, John Michael, what do you want to do? You wanted to be a forensic scientist. And somehow your life changed. Yes. What happened, Jono?
So, well, let me go back a little bit.
Yeah.
During secondary school, I did theater with the drama club, and at that time I was doing that and studying sciences at the same time. And all the time I was always wanting to do forensic science because I loved CSI and I loved detective stories. But when I went to apply to actually study forensic science on a tertiary level, the application froze, and I decided, you know what, this actually isn't for me. Because at that time I would have joined Operation Triple Threat, and I found out I actually really do love theater and the idea of performing, and I decided to just take a chance and swing in that direction instead.
And you're doing it so well. We always the family supports you tremendously. We turned up at every performance of yours at the Frank Connemore Hall, and to see this little John Michael become the star of the stage, and as a triple threat, what does that mean? What does that triple threat mean, so that people understand when we say that what it means?
Yes. Well, a triple threat traditionally means a person who can sing, dance, and act. Nowadays, it just means person who wear many hats, like I'm doing.
Yes.
It can include writing, directing, any aspect of the live performance world, or talent.
And you took it seriously, and you attended university. You've graduated, I know, but you've attended university and took on stage performance. And so what was the course of study like? What did you do well?
Yes, so I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York. I did their 2-year conservatory program and their 3rd-year company. I was invited back by audition. And it was mainly a course on drama and performance in stage and film. So mainly acting, voice and speech, movement, and a bunch of other different subcategories. So there was also musical theater, which is what I was doing with Operation Triple Threat. There's clown and clown technique, which is what I do now mainly, and a few other areas that I just dabble into.
But you also get a chance to perform in New York on some big stages. And so talk to me a little bit about some of the productions of which you've been a part.
So yes, I've done quite a bit actually. Oh, you have my clown picture, which is perfect. So that...
Yes.
So that one is, so in school, we did a series of performances, and that one was a devised theater piece. And devised theater is the creation of theater by the performers and the director. So it's everyone whose hands on deck. And we used, oh, you have that picture. That's lovely.
Sorry.
We used clown. No, that's perfect. So clown is a form of performance. What clown is, we don't know. However, we use that to tell a very specific story. And from there, I performed a debut in Brooklyn. I performed a New York premiere of the show Dirty Legal Secrets that performed in Midtown Manhattan. And currently, I perform in another clown show called A Crucible, a puritanical celebration of witches and turkeys, which is another clown show, among many other readings and smaller performances that I've done across New York.
But getting seen, getting callbacks, and getting picked, how's that been for you?
It's an interesting mix. Not every job I go for I get, which is normal, that's standard. There are some jobs I go for that I get a call back for and I don't hear again, and that's fine. But for me, there's a lot of jobs that I would have gotten where people have asked, do you want to be a part of this? And it usually stems from my work ethic and reputation. I would have known them from somewhere, or to have done one performance which they just happened to come to, and then they invite me on because they loved how I worked. So you just never know where your next job is going to come from. And then sometimes you just make it yourself, which is what I'm really interested in right now.
Yeah, making it yourself. But you operate in a space where there's so many other theater actors who are so good. And, being Little John Michael from Barbados, finding your footing and crafting your own identity, what's your mindset where that's concerned?
There's a couple of thoughts I have on that. It's mainly, one, remembering where I came from. I always come in and I'm like, I'm from Barbados. And when I introduce myself like that, people, their ears perk up and they're like, oh, you're from somewhere new. And the accent gives it away somewhat too. So I can't really hide it unless I really try to. So, I like to leave with that. And from there, I always walk in, I perform every time as if there's either a king in the audience or a person that just walked off the street. It doesn't matter to me who my audience is in terms of their status. I try to give everyone the same performance and come with the same level of grace and gratitude to them. And honestly, just doing that and being kind and genuine and showing up every single time as myself, as a Barbadian, as a person, it speaks more than any sort of plan or oh, I must put myself up to be like this person. It's no, I just show up. And people tend to what I give.
Yeah, I mean, from the time you were, I have to say this, from the time you were a baby, we just fell in love with John Michael. You know, John Michael was ours. So much so that people, the others thought, oh, that's your son, Pearson. Yeah, this is my boy, John O. And so I'm so immensely proud of you. We all are. But you know, you come from a very talented family as well. Your daddy, Julian, being an organist of great note with this performing school as well. Your mummy, a teacher. Your grandfather himself, into music. And so, what does all of that mean, having that base so that you know that you stand on good ground?
It gives me a lot of comfort. It gives me a moment to be like, you know what, I do it, like it's in me. There's a lot of times that I would have some doubt of like, you know, am I like made out for this? You know, am I like giving myself enough? But then I have to remember, wait, no, like I have a lineage.
Yes.
It's in my blood.
Yes.
And it's also, from me, it's also me opening and being willing to give myself as a theater artist, as a clown, professional clown, whatever that means. You know,
John, when you come home, we are all so excited when you get the chance to come home because you're so busy. And, you know, I can't wait to see you home again. The last time we saw you home was when was it? The last time you were home was your grandfather's funeral? Or you came subsequently?
No, it was last year. I came home.
To surprise, yes, to surprise everybody. That's right. And so we can't wait to see you home again. I hope that the next time I get the chance to come up to the Big Apple, that I do get a chance to come into the theater to watch you. I missed it last time I was there. But, you know, I can't wait to see what else the world has for John Michael to surprise them with, because you are so good. You're so well loved. Your family completely supports you, John, and I know that gives you great wind beneath your wings also to continue to soar. I keep saying whenever I comment to you, you're already a star. So continue being the star that you are. Be your best self, John, with lots of love from Barbados. Thanks a lot, all right?
Yeah. Thank you, Uncle Pearson, and thank you everyone for listening to me. It touches me a lot.
Yeah,
thank you.
Of course, my brother. John Michael Bowen is his name. Note the name, never to be forgotten. I remember he sent us as a headshot of one of his professional headshots. I shared it with one of my colleagues. He says, he looks like a star already. I said, yes, he is. And from then on, that's our star, John Michael Bowen. We're taking a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can...
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, A look into the future.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
29 minutes after 7 o'clock, time really goes very, very quickly as we now move over to the UWI into the Faculty of Medical Sciences. And as you know, we've been telling you all week this week, they're having their taster sessions, opportunities for you to see what's on for study and how you fit in. And so we're happy to be joined this morning by the Deputy Dean of Recruitment and Outreach in Dr. Kenneth Connell. You know his face, he's so familiar to Morning Barbados and TV indeed. Good morning to you, Dr. Connell.
It's great to be here.
Good to have you. And Dr. Heather Herwood, she's a lecturer in public health and epidemiology and a whole lot more. Good morning to you as well.
Good morning, Pearson.
But you brought along one of your master's students, and he too is very familiar to you as well when we were talking about different abilities and so forth. Yes. Akeem Rudder, really good guy, and the work that he does as well. And I had the opportunity to sit in on one of his online sessions looking at Down syndrome and managing and the sports opportunities for children of Down syndrome. I was so enlightened, we had to have him on.
Yes.
So now he's back again. Good morning, Akeem.
Good morning, nice to be here.
And talk to me a little bit about your decision to formalize your study in that kind of way through the UWI in the Faculty of Medical Sciences.
Yeah, just echoing from what you said just now, the work that I do, I saw there were gaps in especially research and the quality of care that we provide to persons with disabilities, especially children with autism. And I've seen in my studies prior that this is something that I need to focus on, right? So choosing to do the MPH program, it helped me is helping me to kind of tailor what I envision for the academy. So looking at stuff like understanding what goes on at the back end of the health sector helps me to really shape and prepare myself to engage in more research in an area that is not well researched, which is autism.
And I'm telling you, you're doing great work.
Thank
well
you
done, Akeem. I'll come back to you. Dr. Connell, you know, and that's what drives people a lot to be recruited into the Faculty of Medical Sciences. This passion, this desire to know what happens at the back end and to be able to bring it to the front end to make a difference. For those watching today who are like Akeem, who want to actually take the next step, what should they do?
I think you're absolutely right. The first thing that attracts our students to the faculty is the passion, right? And if you are interested in being part of the best, and I saw you, Pearson, in the Toronto airport as you kind of smirked as the dean said we are the best. So I just want to confirm it, faculty. So just go online. Or we are all out there on social media, on IG, on Facebook, but more importantly, we are on the official university website. You can just Google Faculty of Medical Sciences, UWI Cave Hill campus, no other campus, and you'll see a whole menu of programs that will, I'm sure, pique your interest, ranging from research sciences and formal PhD programs, taught masters, and of course the undergraduate programs, which you met on Monday, several of them in the Faculty of Medical Sciences. Of course, we have a bias. Our flagship program is the MBBS program, the training program for doctors. You don't have to become a doctor to be a valuable part of the health system, right? And our theme for this year is modernizing health sciences through innovation. So we are looking at all the health sciences, nutrition and dietetics, nursing, health sciences, and of course, public health.
And so that passion, that curiosity is what drives them in. And you just go, as you said, and you just register from there. Do I need to come necessarily with any scientific background?
So it depends on which program you're entering, which is why the program prerequisites are quite varied, depending on whether you're doing a Masters in Public Health or whether you're doing a more scientific based or structured program, such as the MBBS program. So my advice to you, and we always keep them very current, so those of you sixth formers out there who I know are finishing off your SBAs in time for CAPE, go and get the accurate information as what are the specific CAPE and CSEC requirements, because many people, unfortunately, they forget about CSEC and they only focus on CAPE. So those requirements, but you're right, the non-scientific disciplines are very important as well to medicine. And some programs, including nutrition and dietetics as well as health sciences, also will look at those disciplines as well.
Sometimes you see in your recruitment forms words. What does that mean? You ask yourself. On the website, do we get a breakdown as to what is actually involved, so I can see, yes, that's where I fit.
So we are taking innovation to a whole new level. Not only will you see words, but we hope to have on our website actual podcasts explaining the application process, which can be quite intimidating. Me and Heather and I entered medical school a few years ago, right? It was extremely intimidating. You had paper forms, but we hope to take it to a new level where we engage our Gen Zs and soon to be Gen Alphas as they apply to university.
So it's simplified. So folks, don't be in any way daunted by it at all. And so, Dr. Heather, talk to me a little bit about what you do in your department as well, as a lecturer in public health and epidemiology.
Okay, well, I think I'll continue from the whole entrance into the programs. So public health, just to step back a bit, I always like to say to people, public health is about society acting together to help create conditions that improve health, that promote health, that reduce disease and so forth, well-being. So therefore, public health really belongs to anyone. So for the MPH, for example, we do have our basic requirements. So we have a program which can be done as a full-time student over 1 year, or you can come as a part-time student like Akeem, and you can do it over 2 years. So that does allow us then to attract people who are in the workforce. And I think it's interesting because for many people who are actually working, making that link between the work you do and the various courses that we're actually offering. So people have written back, they say, but I am now understanding why we did this in, say, healthcare systems or managing in a healthcare organization, or even for people who want to do research, getting the rudiments of how to develop a research question, how to create the right research design and so forth. So for me, I coordinate the program, so from the applications all the way through to graduation. So I'm happy to see the students back as they're wearing their gowns and leaving us with their MPH in hand. And it is really to say that you can see the application across the region, because if you look at the chief medical officers across the region, many of them have actually done the MPH at Cave Hill. So that's one of the things that we say, that in a sense we've created the foundation for a health network across the region. And you tend to see it when we have our regional conferences, like the CARFA conference, which is coming up in May. So I think for me it is really just trying to create conditions that people recognize they have an opportunity. So even if you don't come from a pure science background, that is fine, because I said it's all of society. So we've had journalists, hint, hint, so you can join us at any point in time. We've had people who work in medical laboratories, people who are teachers. So the point is where we can, so we want to look at health in all policies, not that the health system sector has to do everything, but if we can get health embedded into labor, into tourism, into other areas, then we actually will be doing much better for Barbados. So we do really encourage, a wide background of persons to join us on the MPH.
And that's a very important point right there, and how easy it is to actually do so. So Akeem, you're on the shorter program, and the longer program, the two-year program.
Yeah, 2-year program.
How has that experience been for you in terms of timing, your time, use of your time, and how the message and the knowledge is imparted? How has that been for you?
Yeah, for me it has been challenging. It was challenging at first. I had to adjust to working and then kind of setting my schedule to suit the timetable, right? The course is heavy, but it's heavy in a way that it needs to be heavy because of the work that we will do, right? So the content is really good. As it relates to your second question,
the convenience, you spoke to convenience, which is quite good.
Yes.
And is it done in person, or is it a hybrid situation?
Yeah, so majority of the classes are done in person, some are done online. And I find that flexibility is really key, because I work long hours, and having the ability to access class while I'm still at my clinic is amazing, and then to come into class I think is really good as well, because you get to network and interact with other health professionals, and I think that is where a lot of the learning also takes place, because having a perspective from a pharmacist, having a perspective from a dentist, and how they also view the health space. So I think the blend of the two, hybrid and in person, or online and in person, is really good.
And I asked that deliberately, Dr. Collins, because that's important for a lot of people, especially mature people who are working, who want still to come in and be a part of the program. So that's important to know, and I think that's something I want you to underscore, from the convenience of study and how we can actually do it.
Yeah, and this is why the faculty has to be innovative. So take, for instance, Pearson or hybrid taster session. Now, we know many of our applicants are not even in Barbados, right? And so the taster session tomorrow afternoon at the Cave Hill campus at 2 p.m., you do not want to miss it, right? You don't have to be in Barbados. You can join the virtual sessions, take a tour of the anatomy lab, see some dissection maybe, if you're up to that kind of thing during Holy Week, and also get to see what's happening and get a good feel of the faculty even though you're remote. So you're right, blended and hybrid systems are important, and any innovative medical faculty has to move in that direction.
Well, I've tasted, I've seen, I've felt, I now know what I need to do. Do you as well? So it's as simple as going online and following the social media platforms also of the Faculty of Medical Sciences to see how you see yourself being a part of it and lending to society, because that's naturally who we are as a people. We want to give back. And so follow the next step, register. And so Dr. Heather will be happy to engage with you as well as she points you out the different areas in public health. Akeem, from his experience, hopefully has been able to inspire you to take it quite seriously to show that even in your busy schedule, you can still make this happen. And it can happen in person and online as well, because they make it happen for you as well at the UWI. So thank you.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Kenneth Connell, you're welcome. Deputy Dean, Dr. Heather Herwood, lecturer in public health and epidemiology, and a whole lot more, as I keep saying. And Akeem Nurse, who himself is a student but is doing so well and lending to society as well. Each of you, thank you. And folks, participate in the taster session tomorrow, Thursday, 2 o'clock. And it's hybrid, so you too can watch it from overseas online, or you can go in person to the UWI and see what it is really about. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur,
morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We have 18 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock as we do it for St. Leonard's now. That's where we focus, because coming up on the weekend, there is an initiative which we all are invited to participate in. But why? Joining us to talk a little bit more about what's planned is Charles Lovell, himself a former scholar of the St. Leonard's Boys School. He's part of the organizing committee as well, working on this initiative. Charles, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson.
Good to see you. I know a lot of people know your name, so now, folks, if you didn't know the face, now you see it for yourself.
Yes.
Charles Lovell of Domino's fame.
Correct.
And so, Charles, talk to me a little bit about Do It for St. Leonard's. What is it about?
Do It for St. Leonard's is an initiative to get a state-of-the-art culinary lab for St. Leonard's Boys. This is the focus for this fundraiser. I must say there's a little bias in it because the principal is a chef.
That's a good start. He will support it for real.
Yes, so we're trying to raise some funds for these boys. The current lab came from the girls' school, but there's a lot of interest now in that area So we are expanding so we can help the boys much better. They're doing pretty well still because they're winning titles.
Yes.
Right? But we thought that this initiative do things much better for them.
And I think it will. It's on this Saturday.
Correct.
In the school hall.
Correct.
Which is in itself quite renowned. Everybody knows the St. Leonard's Boys at School Hall, which is quite good. You have a strong music program there as well.
Yes.
So talk to me about what we can expect on Saturday in this Do It for St. Leonard's.
Let's start with the music program. The school has a strong background in music.
Yes.
Okay? And where we are now at St. Leonard's, we now have the school choir, school band, school orchestra. All these are expansions of what happened before for the Gabbies, Grinders.
Right.
So the music continues and it's getting bigger. The show called Local Arts, and we say local arts, we mean school persons, and most of them are alumni. Mighty Gabby, which is in honor of Grinder. We have not Mickey D, but Desmond Weeks.
Desmond Weeks, yes.
And because it's alumni, it's male and female, it also includes females.
Right.
You have Miss B and Romancia Marie.
Oh, nice.
They're all part of it.
Those are two wonderful female singers there, I'm telling you. Plus you have the Hypersounds, the lead pipe.
Hypersounds missed this one because the date was changed.
Okay, okay. So it's this Saturday, beginning at 6:30 in the school hall at St. Leonard's Boys School. And so it's under the patronage of the mighty Griner.
Yes.
Barbados multiple winner of many titles indeed in the Calypso arena.
Yeah.
And this is to raise funds to develop further their
Culinary lab.
Culinary lab, indeed. Where can we get tickets for this?
The box offices are the school, of course. Then we have the Village Buffet at Sherton and CS Pharmacy in Bridgetown. CS Pharmacy and the Village Buffet all have scholars connections. But what I want to do, Pearson, is thank the many persons who are helping us to make this here successful. Of course, CBC is one of our sponsors, but the other main sponsors will be VOB, the nation, who's adopted the school, and I can't leave out the NCF.
Yes.
They're making Robert Street, they're making a big contribution towards this. Also, the local persons in the community, like Moses is involved, Downs and Wilson's Funeral Home, all are making good contributions towards that. We're really grateful indeed.
That's fantastic.
What we want now is people to come out and support us.
Yeah, so come folks, come. And what's the price of a ticket?
Early bird is $40, regular $50.
Okay.
The gates are open as early as 5:30.
1 hour before it starts, so the doors are open really at 5:30. You can come inside and relax just a little while, because at 6:30 the show will start of some great stars, musical stars and performing artists in Barbados as well, including the St. Leonard's Boys School Choir, which is renowned. They've traveled, performed in Westminster Abbey in the UK. The blend of voices is brilliant, so you cannot miss that. The school band, the school's orchestra as well, and they're busy in rehearsal.
Yes.
Joshua Osborne, Desmond Weeks. Hypersounds won't be there, but Lead Pipe will be. Lil Bit will be there as well. Margaret Bavell and Romancia Marie, the mighty Gabby, of course, will perform. And this is all under the patronage of the mighty Griner, as we encourage all of you to give your support. Let's do it for St. Leonard's.
Yes, just two important points. There's a break. It's a break during the 30 intermission break. That's important because we've given the graduating class of 2025 the opportunity to raise some funds for their efforts. That's I want to mention that part. And it's going to be a very, very splendid show. Right now rehearsals have started, and at school, Mr. Pernell Farley, he's the head of music, and he's in charge of most of the musical aspects of it. We must thank Darcy Boyce as well, and Norman Barber. They're also helping with the production. So a lot of assistance. We want you to help these boys. It's the only male institution in Barbados.
That's right.
And we really got to help these boys. St. Leonard's boasts of far more positives than negatives.
That's
We
right.
are doing very good in sports too. As you all know, we just won the Under-19 Knockout Football Cup by beating St. George Secondary 4-1.
Yes.
There are a lot of positives. Let us support these young men of the future.
Indeed so, and an excellent Spanish program. They always we bring back 100% results in Spanish. The music program is also quite strong. We're working on the culinary arts side of it. And so this event is in support of that initiative there at the St. Leonard's Boys School. It's this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Make your way down to St. Leonard's. And of course, the doors will open at 5:30. So you can move inside, settle, find your spot, because you are in for a treat, really. And so at intermission, we want to encourage you to get outside and go buy some food as produced and presented by the students of the graduating class for 2025. Support their effort in raising funds for their graduation as well. But it is going to be spectacular. Remember, go to CS Pharmacy on Broad Street, the Village Buffet at Sheraton Mall. You can still go to the office at St. Leonard's Boys School. They are open to receive you for buying the tickets. You can pay at the door. But whatever happens, you present yourself on Saturday in the hall at St. Leonard's Boys School for Do It for St. Leonard's. It's a very important initiative.
Just one more thing quickly. We are paying homage or respects to Richard Stout, who was a member of this committee. So Bit is the only non-St. Leonard's person in the show, because he's doing that part for Richard Stout.
Oh, nice.
Since he was a member of the Richard Stout Teen Talent Program.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's a lot of variety, because a fellow called Jermaine Dimitri is adding the gospel aspect to the show at this time, Easter time.
Yeah.
Must mention that.
So it's quite dynamic indeed.
Yes.
So thank you, Charles. I
Thank you,
really
Tim.
wish this initiative all the success it deserves, and that it really bears the fruit that you're looking for to make the change that you're happening at St. Leonard's as well.
I want to thank CBC for their support as well.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. We're taking a break here. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's head back over to where Kimberly is. Kimberly, are you still in the market? Oh, look at you. You're bobbing on water. Good to go, girl.
Listen, Pearson, the length and breadth that I will go to get you your flying fish. Check it out.
Nice. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. Bring the whole
We've
container.
got enough flying fish. And I'm being told by our local fishermen here at Barinda Cox Fish Market. You want the whole container?
Yes.
I'm being told by our local fishermen here that this is not enough. His name is Cougar. Happy Easter time to you, sir.
Happy Easter to you and pleasant morning to the whole of Barbados.
Now tell me a little bit about this catch. How far did you guys have to go out, and how long did it to get this? Because you said this is not enough, as you saw right there on.
Well, in this time now, the fish is very scarce. And these guys had to went down the road. Down the road is down to big.
Okay.
Risk the life. Risk not caring about the family going to get these flying fish. So Barbados can have some fish for the table on Easter.
Nice. Do you find that Barbadians still gravitate towards the flying, or is there like an upsurge in the demand for flying fish at certain times of the year?
No, Bajans, as I know, we eat flying fish every day of the year.
If we could, yes.
You can catch them. And we want the full bait, get them at them price. Because once the glad is on the market, we have to sell to get them off the market. They're very scarce now. This boat went out approximately 4 days.
Wow.
And now we turn back home. And as they tell you, we ain't got no knife. We got the vision that will feed a couple of people.
Enough for Pearson?
Yeah, Pearson will get his 10 with the heads on. No problem.
Oh, no, he doesn't like it looking back at him. He needs them filleted.
Okay. That be looking for a special fish. But the whole time we is calling them looking back at you.
And bending the fin. Yes.
Now I watch my grandmother do them. But now as the people do them with Pearson here, the easier bones everything throw away.
Wow. So how do you like to prepare your flying fish, Cougar?
This whole time here, I can try and get a couple today with the heads on.
And you can steam these, or you can fry them crispy?
Probably steam them, because I got a stand all like flying fish. Like pig and beef and thing. So I made that a couple of myself.
You know, I love to partake in flying fish with you. I love flying fish. I just don't want to either. But I see that you also have dolphin.
Yeah. We call them dolphin here, but the scientific name is mai.
Yes.
If you told a tourist guy you dolphin, you would believe you catch a flipper.
That's what people think, which is why I look at our dolphin, our mahi flipper, guys.
It's not flipper. It's mai. But we call them dolphin. That's the local name here on the market, dolphin.
Now, one of these mahi will serve a family, or would you say that could actually be for two customers?
This one, 10 pounds, you will serve 2 or 3 families. I can't out the news it. Everyone do it. And big steaks, you won't got much for the family, but if you do it too, it can serve 4 families.
Sounds good to me. Now, I'm a mahi person. As Bajans, we can say we love dolphin. But I know for sure that when you take a dolphin steak and you steam it or even grill it, you get all of those flavors infused and you get all of, you know, the nutrients that you need. If you're looking for an alternative to put next to that macaroni pie, that would be a good option. What are some of the other options you would suggest is a big catch for this season, Cougar?
A big catch, if a boat could bring at least 10 to 15,000 flying fish.
10 to 15,000 flying fish?
That will give the guys something to carry home, and they will feed the family. Right now, this boat got only about 8,000 flying fish.
Wow.
And only 20 dolphin.
So when you guys going back out? After Easter?
Yeah, this boat can go after Easter. Got some guys spend Easter on sea. But we came along, little boys, my grandfather tell you don't go there on Easter.
I've heard that.
But you got some guys spend Easter on sea because they're looking for something. Most of these boats now trying to recover from barrel. So there are not much thing.
Well, you certainly taught me a lot. I learned a lot today. Thank you so very much, Cougar.
It was a pleasure.
Pearson, I'm going to stay out here on the jetty and enjoy the ambiance and the crystal waters. And you can enjoy the crisp, cool air on the inside. But I want to wish everyone a happy, blessed Easter. And who knows, we might actually get a catch while we're here.
Well done. I'm waiting to see that. Kimberly, thank you so much indeed. Enjoy the water. It looks breathtaking indeed. Barbados shoreline for moistures. Now, let's turn our attention to St. Joseph, another place. Look at all of that. Look, sweet for days. Sweet for days. I just love it, how Barbados looks on camera. LaSasha is here because St. Joseph also provides us with an opportunity to see some breathtaking views. And so, you know, some events are coming up very shortly. LaSasha, good morning again.
Good morning,
There are a couple of things we want to remind people about happening this weekend.
Yes, please. So on Saturday on the 19th, we'll be having our fun ride and walk. That is starting from 7:30 a.m. Starting from Grantley Adams School, we're making our way down to Bathsheba. We'll also be having Chef Gregory Austin down Bathsheba as well. He'll be doing breakfast down there. We are also having some activities during the day. So we're going to have a treasure hunt during the day. That will be 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Tour Barbados, because it is the month of adventure. So some off-roading if you're interested. There will be an NCF booth there as well, so you can get your St. Joseph Community Passport and collect that, and you can do Tour Barbados. That is for a cost, however, $80. And during the day, there will be lots of arts and crafts and different food and drink specials down by Hillcrest between the hours of 12 p.m. to about 5 p.m. But our big activity will be in the evening, the Big People Party. Yes, the Big People Party down Bathsheba from 6 p.m. 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. And every artist you can think about will be there. We'll be having Biggie Irie, Ray Plastic Bag, so many people, TC, Natalie, Tumal Hill, big stars of Barbados will be there. There will be bus transportation from Speightstown as well as from Granville Williams bus terminal. Gate 1, yes please. So if you're interested, there are, I believe every hour or every 2 hours, hours, but you can visit the NCF Instagram page to get that schedule if you're interested in that bus service down to Bathsheba.
And this is Saturday, folks.
This is this Saturday.
So much is happening on Saturday.
Yeah.
But there's another activity quickly you guys have coming up as well you want people to register for.
Yes, please. So our Heritage Hike on the 27th, that will be starting from St. Elizabeth School, 6 a.m. But we want persons to sign up early. So you can visit BarbadosNationalTrust.com/regathering to sign up. It is free, but there is a paid aspect as well, which will be the breakfast package, and that is going towards school supplies. So we're asking persons to sign up.
Right, so go to the Barbados National Trust website and see all the details about that indeed. Lasasha, I'm so sorry, it was a whirlwind.
Yes.
But this was lovely indeed. I know you've been doing some phenomenal work in St. Joseph. I've been telling my colleagues here who live in St. Joseph about the great things happening. The excitement is on this weekend, folks. This Saturday, much is happening in St. Joseph. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you're welcome. We're taking a break. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with
morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Well, that's the time, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Our little crew joins me in wishing all of you a great today. See you tomorrow.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.